Greetings and salutations, and welcome to a very special edition of Nerd Culture. I am your host, Ryan of Nerd Culture, and we are here to celebrate the 20th anniversary of one of the greatest and most influential television series of all time. If you can't tell by my attire that I chose to wear for this occasion, let me give you a brief description. The Superman legend begins in a place called Smallville. Yes, we are going to be talking about anything and everything Smallville, but I am not alone in this journey back to the small town where Clark Kent, grew up. Joining us, first of all, Phoenix is here with us. Phoenix, how are you?
I am great. How about yourself?
Doing well. Thank you so much for being with us. Also joining us on this journey, we have Kelly Gettner. Kelly, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thank you for being with us. Also joining us on this journey back to where it all started. We call him the Z-Man. Zadius is here. Zadius, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, brother. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing super. Couldn't be happier. And also joining us, he is a fountain of knowledge. He may have found the secret to the fountain of youth because apparently he knows more than I can possibly imagine. Please welcome Jerome. Jerome, how are you?
Hey, how are you, everybody? Glad to be here to talk about a fun show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being with us here, Jerome. And by the way, if you have any special moments, special memories that center around the TV series known as Smallville, let us know in the live chat. Let us know in the comments. We're going to be getting to those as they appear. We'll bring them up on screen. Give you, the fan of the show, some love because we're all family around here. That's what we try to do in this small town known as Smallville, Kansas. But before we begin to go back to where it all began with the town known as Smallville, I should say more specifically, we have, I don't know, maybe something like this for you. Take a look.
Somebody save me.
I mean, come on, you can't do a show without the intro to the show itself, right? I mean, seriously.
All right. Let's
Just a
admit
little
one
bit
thing.
of it.
He looks so young there.
I know.
Such a baby.
Yeah, right. He's a baby.
He does, doesn't he?
And then you see him on Crisis on Infinite Earths, and he looks so much older, and you're just going, "That's not right."
No.
You know?
It ages you a little bit, doesn't it? When
It
you
does. It
yeah.
ages me a lot.
Well, in some cases, age is just a number. Let's not worry about those little things called, what is your age? Oh, who knows and who's counting? But so now that we're here, we are back in Smallville, Kansas. I want to go around the table and ask the very first question that we have up for grabs. Phoenix, I'm going to go to you first. When did your Smallville journey begin? In other words, what was the first episode you saw? When did you start watching the series? How did it all start?
I think I started watching the pilot. We are a huge DC family. I'm a little bit of I've gone a little bit to the Marvel dark side now, which my family's not happy. We are a huge DC family. Everybody loves Superman, so I think we sat down and watched the pilot as a family over dinner, kind of normal family stuff. And I think I'm the only one that really carried on watching it afterwards.
Pilot was good, but I need some more flavor of that. What was that? I want to see more. Give me more.
More. Yeah. I mean, Tom Wellington. I was, a young kid, just like, all the hormones and all the. He's cute.
I was gonna say, so it's fair to say after that pilot, you thought to yourself, I think I have a crush on this new young actor.
Yeah, no, he's cute. He's adorable. And those eyes. Oh goodness.
Those piercing eyes, right? Yeah, you gotta love him. So you've been with us since the beginning. My goodness gracious, that is incredible. Yeah. So, Kelly, when did your journey into Smallville begin?
Well, so I was a Superman fan beforehand because of Lois and Clark, and I was super excited. Pun intended. So I did.
Super.
I tuned in for the pilot and loved it. And then I watched a few episodes of season 1 and tuned out for a few years. I'm sorry. I was not the target audience. I was in college and I was like, okay, this is a little too teeny bopper for me. So then I return. I appreciate season 1 a little more now, but I returned to the show around I think season 5, and then like binge watch. But I did start at with the pilot when it first aired.
Yeah, which last weekend was the official 20th anniversary, and it was October 16th, 2001.
20 years.
When that show dropped, the very first episode, the pilot episode, if you will. So
20 years ago.
I know.
We're
Can you
so
believe it's
old.
been? I know it's been 20 years. We are so young. So Jerome, when did your journey into Smallville, the TV series, begin?
Well, I started watching it on the CW. Okay, on the pilot.
Oh yes.
Yeah, here we go for the ladies. That nice.
Oh, there it
Monkey
is.
boy as a scarecrow. Okay. Okay, I thought that I knew you needed that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I was there. It was my go-to show to help me get through the divorce, because that was 2 weeks after it started. The wife said, "We're done." So so it was my go-to show. I am a fan. Kelly, I'm going to do this to you. I hate to one up you, but I go all the way back to watching Christopher Reeve in the theaters.
That's all right. You're allowed.
Yeah, it was a fun show. Now I walked away from it from about season 6 or 7 when the whole Lana Lex thing happened.
That was season 6.
I kind of walked away from that, and I'll be honest, I didn't really come back. I came back bits and pieces, but I really didn't come back because by then I was into other things and I'd lost track of the storylines.
All right, fair enough. All good.
But
So
I do have all 10 seasons.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, put that up on screen again. I got to see that. Let's see
right, hang
that
on a
giant
second here.
library. It's a library.
There we go.
Goodness
All
gracious.
10 seasons, and I will be showing the front covers as we go along.
That is lovely. Did you know that they came out with the Blu-ray set last
I
week?
heard that, but you see, Blu-ray costs money, and I've already got all 10 seasons. I also, thanks to Kelly mentioning it, and my wife is currently looking around, I do have that album of Smallville music.
Yes.
Okay. So
There you go.
I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere in the messiness that is my house. I have an 8-year-old, so the house is a disaster. So
There.
All
That
good,
show
man.
had the best soundtrack. Like
it did.
It
Yeah.
had some
soundtrack
great
was
music.
amazing.
It had some
I
great,
love
which we
the
will
music.
dive into a little bit later on. I don't want to get too far off the rails,
Fair.
Kelly.
Okay.
You're doing it already.
I
Zadius,
know.
Zadius, I don't want to leave you out of this conversation. When did you start watching the TV series known as Smallville?
Man, I was there from the jump. Very first episode, like I was already like a superhero type of fan, not just DC. I was like, I grew up with like Spider-Man animated series, Batman animated series, and Superman animated series and stuff like that, and Lois and Clark, of course. So if I saw a new superhero show was coming on TV, I'm like, okay, I'll sit down and watch this. And I thought it was great from the beginning. It definitely had some rough spots and some rough seasons, but I was there for, I believe, throughout the whole 10-year run, even though there were some times where I would take breaks in the latter season. I'm like, I don't have to be there every night. It premieres exactly when it premieres. Thank you, DVR. But
yes.
I was there from the jump.
You're from the gosh, man. I think I may be one of the outliers here, because for me personally, my Smallville journey began in the midst of season 5. That's when I started.
Really?
Yeah. So here's the cover of the set of season 5. Sorry, Jerome, I'm jumping ahead, but I have to say this: season 5. I saw something. on my TV. I was flipping through the channels one night. I was watching some TV one night. I'm flipping through and I'm looking at this thing on television, and it was on the WB at the time. It was before they switched over to what is known now as the CW, right?
Yep.
So I'm watching TV one night and I see this promo just come out of, what is it called? No Man's Land, I should say. And I'm thinking, what on earth is this? So take a look at this promo.
Oh.
Reckoning. Yeah. Whoop.
Central on WB Thursday.
So I saw that. And I remember thinking, wow, this show has reached 100 episodes. That's a big deal. That's a huge accomplishment. I got to check this out. And I watched that episode. And if you're not familiar with Smallville, if you've never seen the show, we are going to reveal a lot of spoilers. So if you haven't seen the show, put this video in your watch later list and then come back after you've watched 218 great hours of television. So Reckoning is the episode where Clark loses his dad. He loses Jonathan Kent. And I'm telling you,
that was a good episode.
I'm telling you, from beginning to end, my eyes were glued to the screen, and the very end, I was bawling. Bawling.
Over characters you had just been introduced to, which is how good the episode was.
It says a lot.
What's good in the promo too is he doesn't just lose his dad, right? Like, it's dark.
Well, it's a dark episode for sure. So I'm watching this episode, and the very end of it, you have the funeral sequence for Jonathan, and they're playing this music, and it's Peter Gabriel's "I Grieve" during the funeral scene. And Clark's there. He takes up the dust. He puts some of it in the ground when they're burying his dad. I was bawling at the end of this episode. The reason I loved that episode, not only just because it's a great piece of television making, but 8 weeks before that episode aired. This episode aired on January the 26th, 2006, specifically. 8 weeks before that, I lost my dad.
Oh,
suddenly.
Wow.
Suddenly. The same reason, the same, in a way, the same way that Clark lost his dad. Suddenly, it was a heart attack. Just took him.
Oh, man.
So I lost my dad 8 weeks before this episode even went on the air. And I watched it, and I was bawling at the end, and I realized not only is this a great show, but I'm feeling what Clark is feeling. I'm there with him at the cemetery with Lana and Lois and everyone who's there at the set. It's so good, but yet it made me feel that pain that Clark was feeling. I was there with him. And as soon as that episode was over, I said, I don't care what happens next. He lost your dad. It's a bummer. I know what it feels like. It's painful. It hits you. I'm going to watch this show for the remainder of its run because I want to see where this goes. Like, what do you do after that? When you lose your dad, Superman. What do you do?
You become Superman.
That? What's that? Oh, Superman. I see Malcolm is here. Malcolm, there you are.
Hey.
So before we get to Malcolm, just to finish this story up, because I know I'm kind of repeating a couple of things. But yeah, because of that episode, I was going to be a fan for all time, no matter what. So that's how my Smallville journey began in January of 2006. Now, for those of you just joining us, Malcolm. So Malcolm, we're talking about something known as Smallville. We're talking about all 10 years of it, all 10 seasons and all that. But the question I asked to the panel was, when did you start watching the series? So Malcolm, now that you have finally joined us at the Talon in the coffee shop, having a conversation, tell us, when did you start watching Smallville?
I mean, just like Flash, I'm often late anyway, but it's 8 o'clock in the morning for me, so...
No, it's fine. we Googled that backstage.
Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
But that being said, I'm pretty sure I started watching Smallville from the start just because, like, back in that day, I was watching every show that came on. Like, I was always a big superhero fan as it was anyway. But I was like. And it's just one of those ones I started watching it, and it just was one of those shows that I instantly started loving and just continued watching it to it ended, and it's one of those ones that I really partly wish they kind of do another series, but then again, like, I think that the ending that they gave them in Crisis on Infinite Earths, I think, was a perfect way to cap it off as well. So I don't think they need to have another series, but it's I love it. So
I got you. We may or may not be talking about a potential future for Smallville moving forward, but we'll talk more about that later. Don't jump ahead, Malcolm. Jeez. Anywho, no, it's all good, Malcolm. You had it. By the way. That's tardy number 4 for you, Malcolm. I believe that's 4 in a row. Anyway, that's another reference.
Detention, yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. So anyhow, yeah, that's how it began for all of us. Now, if you have any questions or comments about Smallville, when did your journey into Smallville begin? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. We would love to hear from you. This is a celebration of all things Smallville. We want to have you involved as much as possible. And by the way, make sure you're sharing this video with all 500 of your closest friends. They're going to like the way they look after watching this video. I guarantee it. So, exactly, Kelly. It's my new sales pitch. It's what I'm doing. There's a little peek behind the curtain for those of you wondering, where is Ryan getting all this stuff? It's called pop culture references, folks. Look them up. Anyhow, So my next question, and Malcolm, guess what? You get to start this one off. So with your journey into Smallville being at the very beginning, October 16th, 2001, believe it or not, what would you say are some of your favorite moments or maybe favorite episodes of the series that you can recall? Any thoughts on that, Malcolm?
I mean, for me, one of my favorite episodes is probably episode number 100, just because of sort of what it meant, and just the way they kind of connected the series and all that with Superman mythos. I believe that was the one that his father unfortunately died.
That would be this one.
Yeah. And it's just one of those ones because, like, when you're one of those people that know a lot about Superman's history, that you know that you kind of know that eventually that his father's going to eventually die, and it did get me worried that his mother's probably going to die at some stage as well. But as of yet, I don't think it ever happened in the comics either. So, but yeah, Superman 100 was probably one of my favorite episodes. Yeah. So I didn't plan anything. So yeah.
No, that's okay. I mean, if I was giving everyone a bit of a rundown of how things were going to go earlier if you had shown up, but that's okay because we still love you around here, and we're not going to throw anyone under the Smallville high school bus, right? Because they never did that in the show.
That Clark was always late for.
Yeah, exactly. Clark's always late for the bus, but somehow he manages to get there before everyone else. Where did you come from? Did you go through a black hole? By the way, that was said in the pilot. So just throwing that out there. There's a little reference for you, Malcolm. So no, 100th episode sticks out. Any other moments, or is 100th episode like the biggest one that sticks out to you? Anything else from the series stick out to you at all?
Nothing that I can think of straight away, but...
It's okay. If you want me to, you can play the Jeopardy theme in your head while I'm going to each one of our fellow panelists. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Lovely. I'll let you think about that for about 30 seconds. So, Jerome, any favorite episodes or moments from the series known as Smallville for you?
Well, there's kind of a trend line that I really like, but there is one moment that sticks out to this day constantly. The trend line for me was the opening of the Talon. I thought that was a nice transition from high school to a more adult world. I really thought that was a good transition. But the one part, and it's the beginning of a season, I can't remember, I think it's like the 4th or 5th season, is our introduction to Lois.
Oh, season 4, episode 1, baby.
And old Clark there just lands right in front of her, birthday suit and all.
Yes.
And she's going, eyes up, Lois, eyes up, eyes up.
Look at his face.
Look at his face. That one to this day still sticks in my head. The way she's like, "Don't look down,"
Look at his face.
Yeah,
look at his face. That's what she was saying the whole time.
Yeah, she was.
I remember that.
That one really sticks because I really like the Lois character.
Good intro too.
Yeah, it was a good intro. I kind of feel like they introduced her a little early. For the cycle of his life and all. I think it was a sort of a gimmick to bring her in early for ratings, but
senior year of high school for Clark.
Yeah, I think they should have brought her in more like on 5 or 6.
Fair enough.
Because of the way his life is with Lana and everything else. But other than that, I love the character. She's one of my favorites. She's one of my favorite Loises of all the Loises out there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's good moments, man. That was a good one. Yeah, and then she takes him to the hospital, and because he's in his Kal-El alter ego. He's
exactly.
He's out of it,
flying and everything. Yeah.
They say no flights, no tights, but yet he flies in like every other episode. So, nice job, guys. Nice way to keep the commandments. Thou shalt not, no flights, no tights. Just saying. But yeah, no, that's a good moment, man. That's a good moment. So, what about you, Z man? Any favorite moments or episodes for you that stick out in your mind from the TV series known as Smallville?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like my favorite episode it's been touched on before is definitely Reckoning, episode 100. Just that whole episode drone, just masterful, and it was like literally the best way to be introduced into the series. But I'll go my second 2 favorite episodes because it's like almost like a 1A 1B. And I believe this really changed like the path for Clark from this moment on, and that's so Exodus, which is I think it's the season finale of season 2, and and the season premiere of episode of season 3, Exile. When he go, I mean, Exodus was so powerful because like it looked like things were going all up for the Kent family. Martha had her was about to have
Lost
another
a
baby.
child. Yep.
And then Clark makes a dumbhead decision, and of course, like you said, Martha loses the child, and then you just see the grief in Clark. He just has to slip on the red ring and just let it all go and go into Metropolis, and it was just a perfect, great story arc for me. Saddening, but also you could see where it changed Clark from that moment on, it for the rest of the series. So love it.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, good ones, man. Yeah, it goes dark a little bit. He's in Metropolis. People try to bring him back.
Wasn't that also our introduction to Red Kryptonite?
Well, they did it in season 2. Like
ring.
earlier in season 2, they introduced Red Kryptonite with the ring on, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then they showed it
Red
again
Kryptonite
throughout the
when he
course
was
of the
in
show.
Metropolis.
Yeah, no. He wore it while he was in Metropolis. I'm just saying they introduced it earlier in the season 2, respectively. So that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's even a little bit more poignant to me. I think that's the word. Is that even in season 1, in episode 1 of season 3, it's like even when moments where he takes off the rings when he's in Metropolis and stuff, he's still feeling the grief. So the guilt and stuff. So he just slips it back on to take all his inhibitions away. So.
I mean, and then he smashes the ATM machines, takes all the money, puts it in a duffel bag, buys that new good-looking car, takes that girl out, and then the girl ditches him because he's being the jerk. Hey, Cal, you come in here with a woman every night. What's the deal? Why start something if it's just going to end badly?
That's true. Then he just gives the valet his car, too, I think.
He's like, nice, cool car, Cal. You like it? It's yours. Like, what? Excuse me? A baking powder? You giving him that car? Where's my car? Just saying. No, that's all fair. So, Kelly, any favorite moments, any favorite episodes from Smallville stick out in your mind?
Okay, I'm going to try to narrow it down. So, Christopher Reeve's first appearance.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it was Rosetta. Rosetta.
Yes.
Season 2, episode 17. Yeah.
Yeah, Rosetta.
Thank you.
There it is. Someone's pulling up the fun
I'm glad
facts.
Phoenix isn't paying.
Beautiful.
You know.
Gosh, that was Smallville had this really I mean, every Superman property since has done it too, but Smallville really, I think, started this trend. Well, okay, they didn't start. Lois and Clark did this too, but Smallville really honored all the Superman properties that came before, and they really gave meaningful roles to each, or to lots of visible figures from previous Superman properties. And Christopher Reeve's appearance was so meaningful and so well done. And that episode moved the story forward. It deepened Clark's knowledge of Krypton. It gave the show's Krypton mythology, which was really well developed. Like, that show really developed its own Krypton mythology in so many interesting ways. I won't talk about it too much, but because Jerome did, but the appearance of Lois, her first appearance. Erica Durance is, I think, my favorite Lois. She's so amazing. Like, the show did not always use her well. I will say that, but I really loved Noir. It was such a cheesy episode, but they had so many nods to like old Superman. It was such a cheesy gimmick, but I loved it. So Lexmas was an episode that brought me back in because it gave and I really like that. I have a soft spot for the episode because I know not every people are divided on the episode, but it gave a really good reason for why Lex was always going to go down this dark path. Like, the show did a really good job of showing that even though Clark tried very hard to get Lex, help Lex redeem himself, Lex tried very hard too. Lex was always going to end up the bad guy. And I feel like Lexmas really showed, in a sad way, Lex Luthor is always going to end up as the bad guy, but just because he's a bad guy, not for the reasons you expect.
Is that the episode where you see him in the white suit with the black glove, and like a presidential seal and all the skulls around him?
No, that's a different. Lexmas is the episode where, Lex basically dreams that it's like 5 years into the future and he and Lana are married and have kids, and then she's pregnant and she's having and he's lost his money because he's been cut up from the family fortune. And towards the end of the episode, Lana is having difficulty with her labor. Like she goes into labor and she's going to die and the baby's going to die. And Lionel refuses to help Lex. And so Lana dies, the baby dies, and Lex wakes up and just decides, no, I need to be rich so I can always be able to take care of the people I love.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool.
Which is sad. And then I think that's the episode where you have him do that he's wearing the white suit and he walks through the insane asylum and there's that dramatic music playing, but that might be a different episode, which that was also a really good moment where people are like reaching out for him. I don't know. But those are just a few of my favorite moments. But and Justice.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, good point.
That
Yeah,
episode. Ugh. Such a good episode. So many. I barely even scratched the surface, but I'll stop now.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, here's the image from that episode in season 6. Justice, hinting at a potential future of the Justice League. Hello.
Never happened.
We never really. I mean, we got bits and pieces, but we never really got the full assembly line. So let's just put it that way. But yeah, so you have the Flash, you have Green Arrow, you have CK, long before he was Superman. You got Aquaman, and you got Cyborg. So that was a good episode too. I was thinking, wow, they're really moving into the DC mythology with this. Like they're taking this. Not just the Clark Kent route, but they're also exploring other corners of the DC universe. Because before I watched this show, I had a bit of familiarity with the DC universe, but I didn't have a whole lot because my whole life was Tim Burton's Batman, Christopher Reeve's Superman, and that's about and Batman the Animated Series. But at the same time, like that's about it. So when this show happened and I started watching, I'm like, well, who are these characters? I don't know who they are. They're all fresh faces to me. Who are they? Where do they come from? What's their secret? Are they enemies or are they friends to Clark Kent?
And people were very.
Were they super friends?
Thank
you. I'm here always.
Yeah. Okay. I'll admit it. I may have seen a rerun or two of when I was a little itty bitty little kid, but I'll leave that to the DC vault. We don't want to get into that.
And people were so disappointed that they weren't allowed to have Wonder Woman and Batman on the show.
They mentioned them in name, but they never actually had them.
I have to say, the fact that they couldn't have those bigger name characters provided an opportunity to let
the Trinity.
But it provided an opportunity to let lesser known characters shine.
Yeah, true. And I think that's and I think that's why they went with Bart Allen Flash and not Barry Allen Flash.
Yeah, that's who that is, this image you see on your screen. Yeah,
and he was actually Impulse. Not Flash, technically, because they weren't allowed to call him.
Well, Impulse, Flash, it's all the semantics.
It was DC deciding they thought they were going to do more after the last Flash. They thought they were going to do a lot more with it, and they didn't want Barry Allen Flash, so they allowed Impulse.
Yep.
Which, gotta do what you gotta do with the creative properties you're given access to. But yeah, so.
And they did
good highlights, guys. Yeah, for me, obviously, Reckoning is probably.
Hey, Ryan Phoenix has.
Oh yeah, sorry.
She's looking like, wow.
Okay.
I'm not getting off the rails now.
Sorry. Kelly mentions too many episodes, and then I forget who's on the show.
I am sorry.
You're in timeout, young lady. Anyway,
I think,
Phoenix,
I think
the one who rises all the time. Phoenix, what are some of your favorite episodes or moments from something known as Smallville?
I think it was actually I feel like the show got even better towards the end, and I feel like it was just really getting going. It kind of took a second breath around the 100th episode, because even I started to kind of go, this is getting a little stale towards the 100th episode. And then, I saw the promo where, Lana might die, and then it turns out the dad dies instead. In fact, Lana does die. And he sort of loses his relationship and not being engaged to her and
didn't tell her his secret.
Didn't tell her his secret. He lost so much in that episode. And I feel like after that they got sort of a second breath on the show where he really becomes Superman. Like he's not just the nerdy little kid anymore. I really loved the last season where it was season 10, episode 4 was Homecoming.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of which,
200 episode, I think.
I don't know that episode.
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, Phoenix, you're right on the money with that. It was the 200th episode. It was called Homecoming. Big celebration of the show itself.
So good.
Speaking of which, take a look at this. How about that? See, I come prepared.
Smallville High reunion. Come on, Clark.
There's a lot of memories there for me.
So what are you? Man or Superman?
See?
It was a really good. In fact, James Marsters from Buffy shows up on the show.
Brainiac.
Yeah, Brainiac.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which was a really because you actually get the younger Superman calling the older Superman, like names.
That's right.
When did I become so uptight and nerdy? When did that happen?
It kind of reflects in all of us, right? Because you wonder, like, what would my younger self think of my older self?
Oh, my
now?
younger self would hate who I became.
Yeah.
So yeah, Homecoming's a great one. That's a great one, Phoenix. Any other ones stand out to you?
Booster, which was season 10,
Booster
episode
Gold.
18.
Yes.
You remember that one?
That's it.
So good.
Wow.
I really look because you get the phone booth change. You're like, oh, he's Superman. So I really love because he starts to adopt the nerdy glasses and the look, the actual.
All right, I got a question. Wait a minute. Did he ever get the curly Q hair?
No.
Okay.
Disappointing.
It is, but that's okay. I can live with it.
Yeah, it's funny. They kind of sweep it off to the side. I was a little disappointed with that.
Booster. Love Booster Gold. One of my favorite heroes.
Yes.
They also introduced the Blue Beetle also, so that was a good episode.
Yes.
I got to go back and watch that episode then.
I
I
feel like-
recommend. Oh, sorry.
I feel like the show really probably could have gone another season or two.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like seasons 9 and 10 were a different show in the best way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They were
Agreed.
very
in different
leaned
directions
in.
creatively.
They leaned into they changed executive producers at that point, but they really
Sure.
leaned into the comic,
The Daily Planet. Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
the Daily Planet.
Was a huge factor. Huge factor.
I love seasons 9 and 10. Like
Oh, man.
so
I mean,
much.
There's some moments there. Any other moments for you stick out, Phoenix, that you haven't shared yet?
Not any that haven't already been mentioned. I really loved. Oh, let's see. I took a couple notes. Transference was this season 4.
When
episode
Lex
They
and
six.
swap
Clark
bodies.
switch bodies.
That was
Yes.
good.
Friday. Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah. I
That was
mean,
some freaky stuff, man.
And Jimmy's World Plan went into prison also, I think.
Oof.
Oh,
Yeah. There's some creepy stuff, man. No question.
And the acting in Transference, like Tom Welling.
Yeah. As
And
John Glover. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, because John
Amazing.
Glover he's been around for a while, so he
Yeah.
knows how to hit his mark. That's for sure.
All I
He's
can
a
say,
nice
I
guy
got one.
too in real life. Fun
I got
story, which
one
we will get
request
to
for
later.
John Glover, and I really wish he would have just shaved. He just always looked like he was coming off of a bender. Yeah.
By the way, John Glover, if you're watching this, we mean this in the best possible way.
well, they've had 4 years together by that episode, right?
Yeah.
Like they
Long
can kind of
time.
just be each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably could. It's a fair point. But yeah, Transference is going from season 4. Man, season 4 had a lot of growing moments.
Yeah.
Growth. There's a lot of growth.
Well,
there.
it was senior year in high school.
It was. And listen. I was a senior during the course of season 5, but you can feel some of those moments in his high school where you feel you're an outsider, you have these disabilities or abilities, you're not sure where do you fit in with all of this. So that's another reason why I relate to the character of Clark so much, because I understood why he felt like an outcast all the time. Because and I'll get into this later, having ASD, autism, is not easy. It's never easy. So to me, if I were on set, if I were in Smallville High, I would hope that Clark would be my best friend.
Okay,
So it's like, hey, we know what it's like to be outsiders, brother.
I do have to give one shout out to every teenage boy out there. okay, that ever went through puberty in high school was
It's
when
tough.
Clark got his X-ray vision.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I wouldn't know that.
That was season 1, episode 4, simply titled
I'm
X-Ray.
sorry, that was every pubescent boy there has ever been. Okay.
So
And
much
it
for
was- it
keeping
was
this family
played
friendly,
his-
Jerome.
It was just you never really saw anything. You saw the girls
know.
in the underwear, and then immediately they went into the X-ray of people's skeletons. But
Yeah.
the implication was just too funny.
It was,
for
and they had the funny song, not the fun, but they had the song playing while he was looking through the locker room. La loo, la la, come on, you know that song.
Yeah,
this is
like
this is
said,
weird. I know,
it was
Phoenix.
funny.
I have weird recollections that just come up. They just happen.
I frequently tease you about it too because I'm
You
like,
do.
like you remember more than me
You're like,
sometimes. I'm
Ryan,
like,
you haven't seen these episodes in 20 years, but yet you can remember these moments. How is that possible? Maybe it's because I have a very good memory. I don't know.
you put me to shame even as a Star Wars fan sometimes. So I
Just
mean,
remember, well, Phoenix, between you and me, the most important thing we can remember from that particular property outside of Smallville, # Han shot first. So
Yes.
I
Just-
got the confirmation
Thank
from
you.
C. Andrew Nelson that Han shot first.
Nice.
So yeah.
Brilliant. See, I
Right.
love it when people get the correct information, not the wrong stuff. But anywho, before I get too off on a tangent, so Phoenix, great memories, good tunes, good buddies. You mentioned a bunch of stuff relating to Lois, a bunch of stuff relating to how they grew the show in seasons 9 and 10. For me, Reckoning's obviously, we've touched on it enough, but Reckoning's definitely one of my all-time favorites. It's never going to leave the top 3, if not top 5, as far as episodes are concerned, not overall seasons. But yeah, some other moments for me that stand out, gosh, I thought Justice was really good because it gave us a little bit of a glimpse of the DC universe, a different corner of it. This one in particular, and we'll get to something else about this in a moment, but I believe it was in season 8 when Clark and Lois were working together at the Daily Planet. The scene in the first episode of season 8 where he's in the bullpen and Lois is sitting there trying to write a story and Clark is screeching the chair and Lois is like, "What do you?" And Clark looks at her and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, is this bothering you? The chair, or are you in it?" And then he gets up and he says, "Well, I got to get ready. Better get ready. I'll see you first thing Monday morning." Whoa. What do you mean bright and early? Lois, you're the one who gave me the application. You're looking at the newest recruit to the Daily Planet. And then he turns the name tagger, and Lois turns the name tagger and realizes they're going to be sitting across from one another. And as soon as that happens, I'm like, they're going into like this is Superman. Like this is working at the Daily Planet. This is where all the juicy stuff and the adventures of Clark and Lois are going to happen. Big time, my friend. So that was a big, fist pump moment for me. It's like, yes, he's working at the DP now. Finally. And then another thing that stands out.
Here's one for
Yeah?
you. A little behind the scenes trivia. This
go
is
ahead.
called Deep Inside Baseball. The man who played Perry White.
Yes.
Do you know who he was married to?
I know exactly who he was married. That would
Would
be Michael
share us
McKean is married to Annette O'Toole, a.k.a. Mama Kent.
Yeah. So there's a little inside baseball for you.
It's great, isn't it?
Which
Yeah, I
was
love all these
funny
little-
that they, the two characters dated later.
In season 9. In season 9, they were brought back, and it was, and then she brought him in as her suitor, and I'm thinking, you guys are married in real life. This is really happening. Martha Kent and Perry White are an item. It's like, what is that? What on earth is going on? You know what I'm saying? So
It saves on their commutes. You know?
does it now? Does it now? Because I think it does to a certain degree, if I'm not mistaken. But another thing that stands out for me, and I gotta share this with you, this promo got me so hyped for this season.
Oh,
Take a
yeah.
look.
Season 7. Laura.
Laura.
Yes.
Laura, yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious. Season 7, this girl comes out of nowhere, new up-and-coming actress at the time. I didn't know who she was. That promo, when they said, we're going to be bringing not only a new actress to the set, but we're bringing Supergirl to Smallville. I'm thinking, whoa, okay, this is serious business. And in the words of good old JR from Pro Wrestling, business is about to pick up. So she comes on the show, second episode titled Kara, for those of you wondering at home. She's, looking for something, and Clark's thinking, are you trying to destroy somebody? You're trying to kill someone? Like, what's the deal? She says, no, I'm looking for Kal-El. He would have been a baby. What? So she doesn't know that Clark, hello, I'm right here. So
I think she was greatly underutilized, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Yes, thank you.
She was a regular in season 7, and then they brought her back in little, sprinkles in seasons 8, 9, and 10, respectively.
Yeah, she should have
But
been so much more used than what
to
she
me,
was.
and listen, I've seen a few different iterations of this character over the course of time, whether they be in the animated series or in the Helen Slater 1980s film that shall not be named. She's the greatest Supergirl we've ever had. Period. I think Laura is the champion of all champs, in my opinion. Don't worry, we'll get to your opinions in a moment. So, Laura to me is the world champion. She's the best, hands down.
Is it just me? But every time you see an adaptation of Supergirl or Superman in any show, because Supergirl actually got her own show eventually.
Yeah, with Melissa Benoist. Yeah.
But it seems like they never quite play on that familial relationship.
No, they don't.
They barely do.
No, they
if
never
at
do.
all, I should say. But yeah, no, that was season 7 is one of my all-time favorite seasons because of Laura. Laura made that season something special that it could have possibly have been. And every time she shows up, so who are you going to beat up this week? Who are you coming after? What's the deal? Who's on your list? So that was certainly a highlight for me in all with all due respect. And then season 8, you're at the Daily Planet, you're doing all this crazy stuff. And then something else happened. I believe if it wasn't season 8, it was certainly season 9, if I'm remembering this correctly. I can't remember exactly. Am I thinking of this? No, before I get to that, what I liked that they did on the show, there were a lot of crossovers with different characters in different corners of the DC universe. Specifically, there was this one. So take a look.
Knowing what it's like.
Yes.
Powerful. It's hard to admit when you can't do it alone.
We are the Legion.
We've come from the 31st century.
Yeah, the Legion. Had no idea who they were.
How can you not love the Legion?
I had no idea who these characters were, no idea where they came from. All of a sudden, we got time travel now. So Back to the Future has entered its way into Smallville. So these characters come in, and I'm thinking, oh, once again, business is going to pick up. What are they going to do? And I saw this episode, and I'm learning so much about DC because of these episodes, and I'm glad that they're doing this because I don't know any of this stuff. So you got Saturn Girl, Cosmic Boy, Lightning Lad. They give him the ring at the end saying, hey, if you ever want to pay a visit to something known as the 31st century, give us a call. We'll be there.
And then it went nowhere.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So
it was a great episode, though. It was a great episode.
I kind of think they were trying to do like a spin-off.
Probably were, yeah.
See how it worked out, and you could tell that had some. They needed some work if they were going to do a spin-off.
It was just a lot of teasing. Like, there's no spin-offs for Smallville, period, is there?
There was one attempt, and that was Aquaman.
Oh, that's right.
And you can find the trailer for Aquaman on YouTube.
And it's on the Blu-ray and the DVD complete series set.
Was that supposed to be a spin-off, or that was its own individual show, though? Because
it was supposed to be its own show.
It was going to be its own show, but the character and the actor were a spin-off off of Smallville.
No, because that was Justin Hartley.
Yeah, it was.
Before he played Green Arrow.
It's so little remembered. If I Google... that now I'll get Jason Momoa.
No,
that's true.
Yeah, that wasn't a spin-off.
That came a lot later, which is not Smallville related.
So it was Mercy Reeve, and it was Justin Hartley playing Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
And it was unconnected to the Aquaman who was on Smallville because it was Justin Hartley. But then when that dive bombed, he got the role of Green Arrow.
So according to Wikipedia, they developed an Aquaman pilot with Justin Hartley as Aquaman
originally,
and as work progressed, okay, so basically it was a backdoor pilot. They did an Aqua episode in season 5. Aqua, although the season was not intended as a backdoor one, it turned out to be one.
Oh, okay. So 2 separate things, basically.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, I didn't know that.
That's right. That's why I grabbed that up. Yeah. So
thank you for looking.
I always look.
Boy, that could have gone a couple of different directions.
Yeah, it could have. It could have. Yeah.
So, other things that stand out to me. This was season 9. Before we get to the big bad of season 9, because that was a good actor too, who played that role. The Absolute Justice crossover with the JSA.
Yeah.
You had Hawkman, you had Stargirl, a different iteration of Stargirl, and then because not related to the current series that's on, and you also had Dr. freaking Fate.
I
had no idea who these people were, but I watched this crossover and I'm thinking, Man, I'm getting more education out of this than I ever could from other stuff. So I'm enjoying the heck out of this. The JSA crossover with Ice Skull being the lead villain, I thought that was fun to watch too. And by the way, the actor who played Hawkman has been in a million different things before this.
Yep.
So congrats to them on that. And then the big bad of season 9 was someone known as Neil Before Zod. Callum Blue played a much younger version of Zod. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. We're so familiar with him from the Christopher Reeve movies. How are they going to pull this off? And I think they pulled it off quite well with a young up-and-coming actor at that point, Callum Blue. Great stuff. I loved it. You had him. You had the city of Kandor threatening to take over Metropolis, threatening to take over the world if Kal-El didn't help them, or, become like their second in command or whatever the heck it may have been. And then you have this final scene on the season finale on the rooftop where he has this blue kryptonite dagger that he sticks into Kal-El's side saying, hey, before I go, I'm going to make you mortal and you're going to die. So that was a heck of a way to end season 9, if I do say so myself. I really liked what they did with Zod in this iteration.
Agree. It was a great finale for that season.
Yeah. So
and they were sort of hinting that the show was going to end even in season 9. Like, I think it was going to get the chop. Like, it was in danger. So I mean, you were seriously worried for him that he was literally, you're gonna like, Superman's gonna die, because even in the comic books, Superman at one point does die. So,
aka Superman Doomsday from the 90s.
Yeah.
Good Lord, did that comic sell like gangbusters?
Yes.
Gee whiz. My brother had the original comic wrapped up in the black, like paperback, whatever it was. It had the bloody S on it. Remember that? Yeah, that was some trippy stuff. Also, another corner of the DC universe that I was quite fond of, if I do say so myself. And this actress went on to be in other shows, such as, I believe it was called Breakout Kings, and then she was on a few other TV series here and there. Serinda Swan as Zatanna.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I love Zatanna, and she was so good.
Zatanna shows up, puts a hex on, this one character, and all of a sudden, wow, I thought, I didn't really know much about Zatanna going into this. Who's this mysterioso, very good-looking woman? So then I learned more about her, and I'm thinking, can we make her probably a series regular? Because she does a pretty good job of messing with people's heads. I'm kind of curious to see where this goes. And then she came back briefly in another episode of season 8 or 9?
I think 9.
When she had to help Clark, get rid of the kid who dressed up as Warrior Angel and all that kind of jazz. So, yeah, and Serinda Swan, bless your heart, young lady. You've gone on to some good things. We won't talk about the bad stuff, but still, Zatanna was great. And Breakout Kings, if you haven't seen her on that show, that was a really good crime drama from the producers of Prison Break. Exactly. Yeah, that too.
Yeah. I didn't hear that. Are you cough drop?
No, he's fine. He's fine. He's just being silly. Anywho, before I lose my mind, if I haven't already, those are some of my favorite moments from Smallville. I mean, we could go into a bajillion more, but we don't have that kind of time. So yeah, so you get to the end of the show. The show's coming to its close. He's going up against, Darkseid, moving the planet away from Metropolis because it's about to blow everything up. Lois and Clark are attempting to have a nuptials or attempting to have a wedding. Everything goes wrong, as it kind of did in the Lois and Clark TV series with Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher. But the very end, where you flash forward a couple of years and they try to redo the wedding all over again, and a reporter bursts into the bullpen and says, "We got to run. Someone's put a bomb in an elevator uptown." And you hear a familiar piece of music. A very familiar piece of music. And I believe it's called the John Williams score.
Yes.
And he runs up to the tower. He, throws his vest to the side, pulls off the glasses. And then this happens.
There we go.
There you go.
You hear this, you see this, and then the show goes into the credits, and the credits are flashing on the screen like they did in the Christopher Reeve movies. As a tribute to the late, great Christopher Reeve. Let's give it up for him. And I'm thinking, okay, this was a good finale, but that last 2 minutes, oh my Lord.
You knew where they were headed in that direction.
Yeah, but anyway. I wasn't sure how they were going to do it. I wasn't sure, are they going to use the John Williams? Are they not going to use John Williams? And John Williams comes through the door, and I'm thinking, oh, this is perfect. So for me, this was chef's kiss when it comes to that last scene, tearing off the shirt, the Superman shield in all its glory. So, but my question to the panel, and I want to go around the horn here. I do want to do this. And if you have any thoughts about any of these episodes, any of these seasons, any of these moments, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. We'll bring them up on screen as they come in. But I want to go to you first, Phoenix. The show ends simply titled The Finale. That's the name of the final 2 episodes. You have the wedding. You have all this stuff. Lex Luthor comes back. Tess Mercer dies at the end after wiping away Lex's memory with that Mysterioso potion that was on her gloves. Just saying. And all this stuff happens. But I'm curious, Phoenix. I'm curious. What are your thoughts on the finale? And the second part of that is, how would you personally would have ended the series known as Smallville?
I liked the ending. I was really bummed that it was ending. But I liked the way they did it. I wouldn't change a thing. That shirt though, it was really weird. It was very flat because you're used to like Superman, with a ripple. Yeah,
because it was CGI'd.
Yeah, it looked CGI'd. But that's early 2000s. We'll forgive them. But yeah, I wouldn't really change a thing. I loved everything about it. But they left us sort of hanging a little bit, didn't they? I think they were hoping for a spinoff or some kind of thing that never happened.
That's fair. That's fair. Anything, would you have changed anything, or are you happy this way this came out? Is it chef's kiss in your mind? Or if you were in the director's chair, how would you have done it?
Not change a thing.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I respect that. I respect that opinion wholeheartedly. So, Coolio, John Williams score. Guys tears off his shirt for all to see. It's pretty good stuff. I'm not going to lie. So we're going to go over to our next panelist here. And I know she's probably got a very long-winded explanation, but we'll let her have the floor. So someone named Kelly is here with us. So Kelly, I got to ask you, you see this finale, you're seeing all this play out on the big, in your television screen respectively. What were your thoughts on the finale of Smallville? And second of all, how would you have ended it if you were sitting in the executives or the director's chair?
So I thought they bit off more than they could chew with Darkseid.
Mm-hmm.
So that part fell flat for me. And there was no way for them to do Darkseid well. Sorry. Like, they did the best they could. So they just, I think, should not have even done it. But I loved the Lois and Clark wedding that didn't happen and the way they handled that. I love the flash forward to the future. I know a lot of people hated that he didn't fully suit up, but I have mixed feelings on that. But I think ending with him ripping the shirt open and ending with that whole gorgeous shot of the Daily Planet, having Jimmy Olsen's younger brother there, played by Aaron Ashmore, even though I have very complicated feelings on Jimmy Olsen too. That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other show.
But I was glad to see Aaron Ashmore there as Jimmy Olsen, acting like Jimmy Olsen. Glad to see hear Perry White yelling.
Great Caesar's Ghost.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Like, the ending felt like a Superman ending. It was that was beautiful. So I love that. So, I mean, the only thing I would have changed is not have Darkseid be how they ended the show.
Shows up as a cloud of dust. Yeah.
That didn't go so well with the Fantastic Four movie that had,
or the Green Lantern movie too.
Thank you.
Yeah, with the animated suit, right, Zadius? Anyway,
making a villain and then making that villain a cloud of dust because you can't handle the CGI.
And then you had Desaad in there, and Granny Goodness was in there briefly.
I did love Granny Goodness, but
yeah, she was in there, as well as her Granny Goodness like minions were in there too. Yeah,
Granny Goodness was well done, but just Darkseid is too big a villain for TV.
This is too big for the two of us.
If you could do any villain, who would you have done instead?
Ooh, that's a good question.
How would you have ended that? Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh my gosh.
There's a couple of different villains out there.
There's lots more than a couple.
I know, but I'm just for argument's sake.
Okay, I'm gonna have
Toyman.
Toyman would have been fun.
I mean, he was in the show for a couple of episodes.
Toyman's a personal favorite. I love Toyman.
I feel like they did all the villains, so they had no one left but Darkseid. I'll have to come back to you on that one. I have to think about it.
We'll play the Jeopardy theme for you in the background, I'm sure. Someone, by the way, producer, can you do that for me? All right, thank you. He gave me the nod. So, Zadius, thoughts on the finale and thoughts on what would you have changed if you were sitting in that director's chair?
Overall, for the finale, I loved that. I thought it was a great ending for the whole Smallville story, for Clark Kent story. But I 100% agree with Kelly. And the dark side thing was definitely underwhelming. And the fact that it was a cloud of dust that inhabited dead Lionel's body too, like, and yes, I know this was the Lionel from the other Earth, but like, I'm not really with this. Like, I even thought the dark side little reveal. I think it was at the end of either the end of the first episode of the season or the end of I think the end of season 10 episode 1 where he actually appears as a cloud of dust. And if they could have found some way to maybe do like they did with Doomsday, because I still believe Smallville's Doomsday was 10 times better than Doomsday we got in live action movies. But that's a different discussion. But
again, that's a different show, Zaddy.
Different show.
But
I feel like they could have done better. I do agree that Darkseid is too big of a villain for Clark to defeat on his own, even if he's just becoming Superman. But they could have done something different. And like, to piggyback off of the question that you asked earlier, I think a good return of form would have been the Brainiac to come back. Like, even though I know he had been in the future, he was
Brainiac 5. Yeah,
exactly, been Brainiac 5. But it would have been a great. Brainiac is one of those all-powerful villains in my eyes, so it would have been a great moment to see him come back to interrupt Clark's happiness again in some way.
Interrupt the wedding.
Yeah. Exactly, and I feel like that's something that that's a villain that Clark could have actually found a way to defeat some way, even with his friends, with Green Arrow and stuff. But overall, the finale was great. Just that was definitely the most underwhelming part for me.
Yeah, I almost forgot to bring that up. Yeah, James Marsters was definitely a highlight of the series as Brainiac when he was evil, and then he came back briefly for the 200th episode known as Homecoming as Brainiac 5. It's like, whoa, you were like an evil SOB for a good while. Now you're just playing the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future to CK in Homecoming. This is the moment where your life changes forever. And I'm thinking, whoa, man, where excuse me, a baking powder? Where have you been, boy? But that was some good stuff. Jerome, if you can do this in 2 paragraphs or less, I don't think that's possible, but we're going to try anyway. Thoughts on the finale, and if you were sitting in the executives or the director's chair, what would you have done to change up the finale of Smallville?
I'm agreeing completely about Darkseid. Darkseid is a Justice League villain, not a Superman villain, okay, because he's so big as a villain. But as for, I agree with Z on Brainiac, but I think I would tweak it and have Lex and Brainiac together, just because it just is a perfect combination. As for the absolute ending where he's ripping the shirt open, I'm really old school. I would have preferred to see him walk into a supply closet and rip his shirt out and jump out a window. That's a George Reeve Superman. Okay. But that's just me. Okay. Like I said, I'm a real old school kind of guy. So other than that, I thought it was a really good ending. It worked everything. I would love to have seen him flying off with the cape flapping, but what they did was fine. It coincided with what they set up right from the beginning.
Fair enough. The man who lives in a different time zone and just got up. Malcolm, buddy, pal. Thoughts on the finale of Smallville? And if you were sitting in the director's chair, what would you have changed?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everyone with what they said about Darkseid. I know when the series first came out, I actually had no idea who Darkseid was. Like, at that point in time, like, I knew a lot of the Superman villains. I didn't know a lot about the actual Justice League villains that they've had to face together. So for the longest time, I thought that was how Darkseid was supposed to look, until I actually read up more about him. I was like, that's not what he looks like. But that being said, I love the finale, and it's one of those. I know a lot of people don't like the fact we don't see him in the suit. Because I think I remember on an interview that Tom did with Michael Rosenbaum on Inside of You. I think he said that they tried to do something for suit, but I think they just couldn't find something that would work or something on camera, so they went with the CGI option instead. But what I probably would have done is I probably would have found a way to get Lex back as a with his big mech suit and stuff, and have that be the big final battle.
That would be nice.
Oh, the big mech suit, kind of similar to what they were trying to develop with his army in level 33.1.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair
That would
stuff,
be a dope
man.
idea.
What I want to know is why so painted on the shirt? Like it just
Right?
would it have killed you to
Well,
just
it's just tight. That's all.
It's very tight. This shirt is very tight. Let's just leave it at that. But it is a heck of a way to end a show with John Williams in the background. I mean, there's nothing wrong with JW coming in.
Oh yeah,
So-
no.
Was anyone disappointed that they didn't have a little more hint towards Justice League moments that were coming? Like they were aging him up. Obviously he's gonna go join the Justice League. Like Batman, come on, guys. Like,
Yeah.
They couldn't use Batman.
They couldn't use certain characters due to certain, whether it's creative issues, rights issues, movie rights issues.
It was the studio said you can't use any Batman because at the time they were making Batman films left and right, and they didn't want to disrupt that cash cow.
It would have been a great promo though to bring in
a good
the
cast.
Batman guy.
I think they should have brought in a young Bruce Wayne as he's still doing all of his, training and learning throughout the world. I think that would have worked even better.
Well, during an interview that they did last weekend to celebrate the 20th anniversary, Michael and Tom were saying Michael said that they wish that they had brought in Bruce Wayne as a business partner to Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And Clark walks in and says, "Oh, Clark, this is my business partner, Bruce Wayne."
Yeah, that would have been perfect.
And as soon as you see them shake hands, you're thinking, "Oh, yeah, these two, okay. There's a Bruce and a Clark. You know something's going to happen."
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Michael Rosenbaum said creatively, if we were able to do that, that's what he would have done.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I probably would have freaked the heck out if he walks in and said, "Oh, by the way, this is Bruce Wayne. He just came in from Gotham City." Like, whoa, wait a minute.
Exactly.
This is Bruce Wayne. He's my friend from work.
Hey, we know each other. He's a friend from work. Sorry, that's another property in another film that we shall not talk about.
But I think they make up for a lot of that in the season 11 comic books that
yes.
I think they do everything Batman and Justice League. I think they make up for not being able to, for what they couldn't have done in the series.
Yeah.
Ryan, you're
muted. Ryan,
muted.
No, it's okay. You guys can keep yapping. I'm looking for something.
Okay.
See, like I said, I'm an old.
But
guy,
I mean, one thing I'm slightly disappointed is there's a lack of Smallville Funko Pops out there, because I just did a quick Google search before. It's like the only 5 there was is there's 2 versions of the Clark, Lex, Lois, and I can't remember what the 5th one. I think it's the Green Arrow is like. I would have loved to get Funko Pops of all the others. Maybe not so much Chloe now, but
yeah.
Well, first of all, in the words of
I
Mike
have the lowest
Kalinowski,
pop.
I was going to say, hold on a second. Let me. Well, before you hold that up to the camera for the second and third time, this is the Smallville comic that Malcolm was referencing a moment ago. I have all 7 or 8 volumes of this in paperback. I think it's a really good continuation of the series.
Good.
Yes, Batman is introduced. Yes, Bruce Wayne is mentioned. Yes, other members of the Justice League are thrown in there for good measure. So, by the way, hashtag support your local comic shops and buy this trade paperback series, because I think it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it for what it was. Now, Kelly, you said something about a visual prop, I believe. Is that what you were saying?
Malcolm mentioned the Smallville pops. There
they
my
are.
lowest pup here.
Erica Durant, what's up?
He's so cute.
Little Erica.
We love Erica.
We love Erica.
I think we're always going to love Erica. That's the point.
Yes.
By the way, I did have that Funko Pop, and then I realized I have to sell some stuff. So, but I still have the Clark Kent one. I still have the Clark Kent with him ripping open his shirt with the Superman logo. So I still have that one. Tom, trust me, I still have it. Okay.
Also, Funko, we need more. We need more.
Yeah, we could use some more Smallville Pops of other characters like Zod, or more different iterations of Lex, maybe a Supergirl. Laura Vandervoort Funko Pop. Wouldn't that be nice?
Hey, listen.
Black Canary. I want that Black Canary.
How about Black Canary? How about her?
If you're gonna do a Funko Pop of Lex, I want a little tiny mini one next to it of the Flash. Just because Michael Rosenbaum does the voiceover of the Flash for Justice League.
How ironic is that? He plays a villain for 10 years on Smallville, and then he becomes a good guy in the animated series.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's that one episode where Flash and Lex switch bodies. So he is playing Lex and Flash's body.
I've seen Michael Rosenbaum with his hair. I can't recognize him. You know, I don't recognize him
He
at
looks
all
so
when he's got his.
different.
Now that he grew his hair back.
He looks so different.
He does.
Well, I mean, a Batman movie actually says you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. So
that would be The Dark Knight from 2008, which got robbed of Best Picture.
And Michael Rosenbaum did the opposite, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael, if you're watching this, that comment that Kelly just made is so endearing.
Tried.
Yeah, Michael, if you're listening, come on. We'll invite you. We'll talk to you. We'll give you love.
Yeah, I mean, we're all family here. We try to make people feel welcome. I'm just saying. So yeah, for me, I enjoyed the finale for what it was. If I would have changed something, I would have, done a little bit more with certain characters that have already been mentioned. Maybe have a different kind of big bad to end the show on, or having Clark and Lex like meet at the very end and say, it's on, man, it's on. I'm coming for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Lex is saying, enjoy this moment, Clark, because I know your secret. I'm coming for you. Like, just I don't know, like a little bit of a threat would have been nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a war coming, okay, and you're like number one on my hit list. I'm just saying. But listen.
They did keep them a little too friendly the whole time, didn't they? I kind of wished for more. Yeah,
they did.
I don't know.
I understood them being friendly at seasons 1 through 3 or 4. When Clark is still in high school, young impressionable kid. But as they went further along, they kept him friendly, and you're just kind of going, makes no sense. Why?
Yeah.
Especially when Clark goes to work for the planet.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't understand, why they kept doing that. And I think it was just because.
And then Lex bought it at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he? And then he had his cloned, remade twin brother as the editor. Yeah. Grant Gabriel was in there. So he had that character.
So,
which I believe was played by Michael Cassidy, if I'm not mistaken. Good actor, too.
Yeah, then you're right.
It would have been fun to see the sort of we used to be friends, and now we're enemies, but they never, they didn't go far enough with it.
Yeah, but that describes high school,
Yeah.
At high school, So.
Well, they kind of went through that, but it was more over Lex marrying Lana and not enough about other stuff, and that was disappointing.
Fighting over a girl.
It happens all the time, doesn't it? No, I'm just saying. But we didn't get a chance to talk about this character earlier, but I'm just curious, before I move on to our next question within the panel, what did we think of them combining two characters, Eve Tessmacher and Mercy Graves, into Tess Mercer, and you have a young up-and-coming actress debut as the new big bad as Michael Rosenbaum left the show at the conclusion of season 7, and she comes through the front door at season 8 as the new president of LexCorp. Tess Mercer, played by the very beautiful Cassidy Freeman. What do we think about Tess Mercer, Zadius?
Yeah, I loved it. I even though season 8 definitely wasn't one of my favorite seasons, but I thought it has nothing to do with Cassidy Freeman's portrayal of Tess, because I thought she was a great villain / soon to be future friend, but I thought she was great.
No, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Kelly, if you can keep this to 2 sentences or less. No, I'm kidding. Kelly, what are your thoughts on this new villain that came through the door in season 8 known as Tess Mercer?
Oh, I loved her. She is a complex, layered character, and I loved her redemption arc in later seasons.
Boy, that was short and sweet to the point.
You're
all right,
welcome.
Kelly,
You asked her for that.
you get 5 Listen, when we go backstage, when this show's over, you get a gold star sticker after this. So, Phoenix, thoughts on Tess Mercer during the course of Smallville?
I didn't feel like she was a terribly memorable character.
Ouch. Okay.
Yeah. No,
That's called a boom hot take.
Yeah, it's funny because you mentioned them being two characters. I think I was trying to figure that out to begin with. It's like I was expecting the other character to show up, because I don't feel like they clearly defined that it was two characters in one. I feel like they were kind of trying to push things along. Yeah, I didn't care for her.
Okay, someone's been drinking the Haterade in the backstage area. Okay, that's cool. No, listen, Phoenix, all opinions are welcome here. Every single one of them. But Malcolm, any thoughts on Cassidy Freeman taking on the role of Tess Mercer in the later seasons of Smallville?
She was enjoyable.
She was adorable. That's true.
I mean, it's one of those ones like Phoenix was saying, it's she really wasn't defined as being both characters. I just thought, like, once again, I thought for the longest time she was just an original character that they created for the show. I mean, I do like the fact that in the name they sort of made it clear that it wasn't supposed to be an amalgamation, because like Tess Marker, Mercy Graves, I think there was enough hints there that they were supposed to be those two characters, but I think there wasn't really much sort of definition to sort of show that that was what they were trying to do.
I see. All right, Jerome, any thoughts on Cassie Freeman taking on the role of Tess Mercer? Miss Tessmacher!
Well,
Sorry, that was a line from the original film, but I digress. What are your thoughts on Cassidy Freeman's character?
Well, I mean, the actress is fine. She did well with the role that she was given, but the role itself is highly forgettable. Okay? They brought her in you could tell they brought her in for two reasons. One, they needed a new big bad, and she was it. And they also brought in her I hate to say this, they brought her in to bring in a different audience. Okay, that's what it came down to. You didn't, when Michael Rosenbaum left, you could have gone with any number of the canon villains that Superman has. Instead, you bring this person in. Why? You're trying to bring in a new audience. Now, was that a good thing or a bad thing? That's an individual decision. I thought she was kind of forgettable. Never really understood the character all that heavily. And quite frankly, I moved on when she was around. You know, the actress thought she did a really good job. You know, have no problem with her. Just had a problem with the character and the writing of it.
Completely agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've lost Ryan, but
no, we lost Ryan. Oh no,
we've taken over the show.
No, he's going to accuse me of this. He always says I take over the show. You know?
There we go.
I'm here.
There he is.
He's back.
I had to run into the town and grab a coffee break, but still, So yeah, Jerome, you weren't too crazy about this character. Okay, that's cool. I can understand. It's not everybody was.
It wasn't the actress either. She did a really
it was just
good
the way
job.
it was written.
Yeah.
That's fair. We've all said that about TV or movie projects where we say these are great actors, but they're not given the most greatest of scripts. So we can roll with that. But Cassidy, we look forward to seeing you at conventions. Just saying.
Yeah,
I'll have her sign my season 8 Diva. I got no problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I found interesting with the shows, like when you see sort of the starting off point for a lot of big actors' nabs, Amy Adams was in his
in season 1
in one of the worst episodes in the show.
There was a guy. What's the guy's name from Supernatural?
Jensen Ackles was in.
Yeah,
Jensen Ackles was in season 4. He was a football coach.
And so the Ian Somerhalder.
Yeah,
he was in season 3. Thank you for bringing that up.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
also
return
the other
to
guy. What was his
Amy
name?
Adams.
What was the other guy? What was the other guy's name? Paul Wesley. Paul Wesley.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he plays Lex's adopted, like what was it called, like stepbrother or something, or half brother. Half brother. That was it. You remember
Lex
that?
had a
Paul
lot
Wesley
of
was in there?
brothers.
They all went on to do really amazing things later.
They did.
Too.
Everyone went on to Supernatural or the Vampire Diaries, even though the early seasons are better. But still,
that's very true.
Of TBD, Damon and all those guys. I'm just saying. But anyhow, that's another show for another time, Kelly. So, but yeah, no.
Invite me back for that episode.
We should.
Same here. Yeah, same here.
We should do. After this, somewhere down the line, we should do an episode called Smallville. Where are they now? Or what have they done since then?
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those ones because I was watching Zack Snyder's Justice League the other day.
The one that has all the slow-mo in the first 2 freaking hours?
Yeah. I was going with that. It only just clicked to me that the person that played Silas Stone in that played Dr. Stephen Hamilton in season 1 of Smallville.
Yes.
Joe Morton.
Joe Morton.
Yeah, Joe Morton.
A.K.A. the guy who worked for Cyberdyne.
Who was also in Eureka.
Oh, that's right.
And Papa Pope.
Joe Morton, he's an actor, Phoenix. He's been in like a million different things, and he's still working today. And by the way, Joe Morton,
he's great.
You've played a good guy, a bad guy, somewhere in between. You've done every single role that's been known to man. Bless your heart, good sir.
He's a really good actor.
He's great. Yeah, exactly.
He's been around for a long time. So,
but that was just
on him.
That was just a 2000s thing too. Like we talked about how these characters have been everything. That was just a 2000s thing. It seemed like all these shows were crossing over. Sometimes they were the same character. Sometimes they were a different character. I noticed that it was very I don't want to say incesty, but the shows just shared characters and actors a lot, didn't they?
Well, it's also because it's filmed in Vancouver, so the actors
and everybody knows everybody.
And once you get into type of genre television, or whatever, they kind of recast you a lot. They did that a lot in the '60s, also.
Typecast.
Yeah, they typecast you.
Typecasting.
Yeah, because Ryan mentioned Hawkman earlier. That was
he was in Stargate.
Yeah, Daniel Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in Stargate, and then he did, and then funny enough, when Smallville was over, Lois and Hawkman were on the same show for like 8 years called Saving Hope.
Yep.
Which is a medical drama. For those of you wondering, what the heck is Ryan talking about?
I know what he's talking about.
No, I remember that. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I think I may have watched that show because of Erica. So, I mean, Erica. Listen. Let's be honest. Some men and women just don't age, and I think Erica is a perfect example of one. So yeah, just saying, Erica, great job on.
Hey, Laura Vandervoot doesn't age.
Oh, she doesn't age either.
Yeah. She was in
Hartley still looks great.
She did everything. She was in V. She was in Bitten. She was in. Oh my gosh, she did a couple of movies after Smallville. I mean, she's been in everything. She did the most recent remake of a David Cronenberg film known as Rabid. So.
Yeah, Laura was in one of the Saw movies. Because I remember watching it, I was like,
she was in Jigsaw. Jigsaw,
yeah, there we go.
Which, by the way, that's a horror film, and I don't watch horror very much, so I'll stay away.
You just mentioned a bunch of Ian Somerhalder stuff, so she must work with him a lot.
I think they do. Well, all actors, once you've worked together on one set, you end up working together on 5 other sets. So it's called Phoenix. It's called family. It's called family.
Okay,
family around here.
Family.
I'm just family, isn't that right, Zadius? It's called family. Yeah, whatever. Dude, you should have stopped at 6.
Lord.
Anyway.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw this one at you. Erica Doerson, who played Lois.
Durance, yeah.
Durance. I'm horrible with names.
It's okay. That's why I'm here. That's why Kelly and I know how to pronounce names correctly.
So I missed this. I completely missed this one. Apparently, she was Supergirl's mom in Supergirl.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my! I completely missed it. I'm oblivious, apparently.
They recast.
Yeah, later in the series they recast.
After season 2, yeah.
Thank
you,
Zadius.
So don't feel bad.
Okay.
Don't feel bad, Jerome. Not a lot of people remember that. But anyway, but let's see. They also had, you had all kinds of DC legends on the show. You had Christopher Reeve made an appearance on Smallville. You had Margot Kidder make an appearance on Smallville.
Oh, yeah, that was a great
one. You had people like Dean Cain make an appearance. You had Terry
Helen
Hatcher.
Slater.
Yeah,
Terry Hatcher was Lois's mom.
Exactly. Yes. And then Helen Slater came in as Laura, Kal-El's mother on Krypton. You had Julian Sands as the human version of Jor-El. You had Terrence Stamp as the voice of Jor-El.
Oh, that was brilliant. That was epic right there. That was brilliant.
Which, by the way, I'm so used to him saying, "Come to me, son of Jor-El." Kneel before Zod. I can't even say it without straight. Kneel before Zod. Like anyone.
Yeah, that was so over the top, but. Yeah, they did a lot of good reference, like I said,
And there were a lot of alumni from the DC universe that were in Smallville. So
I felt like it was kind of a blessing from, the previous. They had both previous Supermen on the show, and
that's
kind of cool.
The Rosetta episode. I didn't get a chance to say this earlier on, but Rosetta to me was a passing of the torch.
Yes,
Christopher Reeve was looking at Tom and saying, "Look. I did this for a while, but this is where you came from, and this is your time now."
Oh yeah. That was definitely a passing of the torch.
And by the way, during that episode, I don't have it here in front of me, but during that episode of Rosetta, you can hear the John Williams.
Oh yes.
Score in the background.
The moment you get that opening shot of Christopher Reeve.
Oh man,
that's when they start. They put that.
You play the Krypton theme from the original 1978 film, and I'm thinking. Oh, this is
goosebumps!
Deep. Yeah, this is deep, Kelly. This is deep. So
and even in the Smallville cast, a lot of them have been in other DC properties as well. Because Ned O'Toole played Lana Lang in an earlier.
Ned O'Toole played Lana in Superman 3, which shall not be named. So,
wow, I didn't know that.
Zadius, I bought the Blu-ray set of all the Christopher Reeve movies, and I may have seen a few minutes of that film just for argument's sake. But listen, I watched the Annette O'Toole scenes from that movie, and those are the best parts.
Yeah. No. So, Ryan, you must go find the modern version of Cat People with Annette O'Toole. We'll talk later.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yes, trust me.
Okay, Kelly, make a note. We got to look this up after the show.
All
But
right.
still,
I'm
but
on it.
still, I digress. Oh my lord, man, we've shared so much about this show. Where do we go next?
You know,
I
one
know.
of the things I loved at
Yes.
the pilot was the fact that the ship comes in on a meteor shower. I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yeah, nice
and it kills Lana's own parents.
Right. But what I loved was if you paid
I mean, that's a way to start a show is
I
killing
know it
off
is.
Lana Lang's parents.
But if you paid close attention, they went from the cream corn capital of the nation
To the meteor
capital of the.
Isn't that right?
But it was
Remember that, Kelly? The big
an
sign
interesting-
comes up.
Yep.
Yeah. But
So
I love
basically-
that they were the cream corn capital. You know?
And now they're the meteor capital, which, by the way,
Also-
Zadius, would you want to move there? I don't know. You get a meteor shower every 4 years.
Yo, if I can find some type of kryptonite to get powers, I might take the risk.
Yeah,
of that.
me and Z are going out. See you later. We're road
Right?
tripping
We're leaving.
to Kansas.
So
Yeah.
speaking of the town sign, as a actual small town girl,
Sure, go
I
ahead.
take issue with Smallville calling themselves Smallville and then their population is 25,001. That is not a small town. No. And then
That's not
they're
a small-
pretending
Well, wait,
everyone
wasn't there-
knows everyone else.
Didn't they determine that it was called Smallville because the founder was named Small or something like that? Didn't they do
Henry
that?
Yeah, like Henry
Small.
But
Yeah.
they still are pretending it's a small town
Yeah, I know.
and that everyone knows everyone. You have 250,000 people, y'all.
That's 250,000, not
That's,
25,000.
you're thinking of 250.
Oh, you're
we were
right,
talking
you're
about
right.
25,000.
But,
Hey,
but
Kelly, listen.
everybody's
Matt
kind of
and I never
cousins,
got along
so-
as children, so it's okay.
Yeah. But
Listen.
25,000 people is a lot of people. I
But
grew
here's
up in
the
a
thing,
town
when
that
I
had
see that sign,
6,000.
But when you see the sign and you go into Smallville and you see all the scenes within the town, whether it's at the Talon, whether it's at Henry Small's law firm, whether it's at the, by the way, Smallville Medical Center had a lot of patients.
Yes, I do
So-
want to
Yeah.
notice that. Yeah, they had
Which-
a level 1 emergency room.
Which, by the way, of a town of 25,000, I never got the sense that 25,000 people live there. I got the
No, you're
sense
like,
Oh,
that
no.
"There's 25,000
Nowhere
people. Where are
I got
they?"
the sense that it was more like 50 people lived there, maybe 60.
Mhm.
yeah, I
Because
want to
when you
know
see
for
the
such a-
exterior shots of the show, you never see hundreds of people gathered together unless it's like the Cream Corn Festival, unless
for
it's
such
the
a small town, they had such a modern, medical
Yeah.
center.
They had a
Well,
movie
so
theater, they
many-
had a coffee shop,
My
they had a
thinking
So
clothing
many
is
store.
that-
devastating things happened. Like
Yeah.
people could just be getting killed off. You know, like the villains
Which
are
I-
killing people every day.
That's good.
Well,
My
someone
thinking,
more
though,
than
is
likely got
that-
killed every episode.
Yeah.
Whoever designed that sign has never actually been to a small town, so they
Well,
think,
that's yeah.
Because
"What's the
Kelly
population of a
has
small
been to
town?"
a small town and she lives in one, so
Well, don't forget the people who wrote this are usually from LA.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
That's
So
true.
like 25,000, that's tiny. I'm like,
Yeah.
laughing
You've
at
got
6,000.
Californians writing this.
why.
California
Come on,
dream. No, I'm
didn't
kidding.
What was it? Didn't they have Bo Jackson in like one of those at one time,
Yeah.
or was that the Dean King one, where
I think
they
that was
called Kansas flyover country?
Oh God. I don't
Yeah, I think
remember.
that was,
Someone
I
Googled that
remember
for us
them calling that-
backstage.
Calling it that, yes.
No, that may have been Dean Kane. I don't
I
remember.
think it was
I
the
think so.
Dean Kane show because
Yeah.
that was 93 to
Yeah.
97.
All right, my
respectively.
bad. My bad.
I was
Yeah, I mean-
little.
Bo Jackson. What
Aw.
the only Jackson I know of is
told you I'm
shoeless
old.
Joe Jackson, who lives in the cornfields of Iowa.
Told you I'm old.
Speaking of small towns, Kelly, the cornfields. Yeah. Just saying.
But yeah, I mean, I remember watching it, and when they brought in Christopher Reeve back, I was partly worried. Are they going to bring Gene Hackman back?
Oh my God.
That would be nice.
That would have been great.
That's one of the few DC alumni that unfortunately did not make an appearance on the series.
Right.
I mean, I think he retired. Like Gene Hackman retired about 2 years into.
Well, he
Smallville
retired in
anyway.
season 3 because in 2003, a little indie film called Welcome to Mooseport came out, and that just didn't go over well. So Gene Hackman retired, sadly. But I would have liked to have seen like, what if Gene Hackman was Lex Luthor's grandfather? You know what I'm saying?
They could have done it.
You know what
That
I'm saying? Because
would've worked
Lionel
perfect.
Luthor's already there, so you already had the dad. Why not the grandfather? You see what I'm saying?
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, but Hackman probably is one of those actors of I don't do television.
Well, he's very picky about his
Yeah.
projects too.
You know? So
Just saying. But anyway, we've done the who, what, where, when, and why. We've done the, I would have done this. I would have done that. But I'm just curious, and I want to go around the table here. If you've had the pleasure or nay, the privilege of meeting any of the members of the cast of Smallville, whether it be down the street at your local pharmacy or at your local convention, just saying, let's go around the horn. Phoenix, have you met any of the Smallville veterans? And if so, who?
I have not personally met any of them. Tom Wellington was on.
It's just Welling, not Wellington.
Welling. Tom
Yeah,
Wellington.
come on now, get it right.
Wellington.
It's okay.
It's early for me. Let's see.
Yeah, because you're on California time, so
I am. Yeah, no.
bless your heart.
cough medicine.
It's okay, take a break.
Tom Welling was on a digital thing that I did, a digital meet and greet, but I've never personally met any of them. I really wish I did.
So it's on your bucket list, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, you might want to mark this down. Meet so and so before I Okay, we'll let it go. Anywho,
I go to a lot of cons, so
yeah,
you never know.
You're a con goer, just like the rest of us, or at least most of us anyway.
I've done,
no offense to those of you who have not had the privilege of being to a convention yet. Bless your heart, it will happen at some point, and when you do, you will find your tribe. Trust me, it's a true story. I'm not going to lie, but before we get to that,
not one but two wives at the conventions.
Oh, gee, Willikers, Jerome, do you have stories for days or what?
Convention wise.
So
I want to
Phoenix,
hear this story.
So Phoenix has got a lot of things on her mind in terms of objectives of people she wants to meet. Zadius, have you met any Smallville veterans? If so, who?
Unfortunately not. I've never been to a con yet, but now I know where I can go find my significant other in the future.
Yeah, baby.
Looking for my next husband.
Yeah. The closest I've got to any of this cast is that Laura Vandervoort liked one of my comments on TikTok, and I'm like, yes! And that was it.
She comes in the door, you give her one of those big ovations like they do on Monday Night Raw. Well, you that's cool, man. I dig it. So you got some stuff to do on your list there. What about you, Malcolm? Over there in New Zealand, have Smallville veterans come to your neck of the woods of the Shire? And if so, who?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had like Tom Welling in here before, but I haven't had a chance to meet them. Like, in the city that the thing we don't really get Comic-Cons here. If we do, we don't really get a lot of the bigger names. I think the biggest stars we've had is like Billy Boyd and from Lord of the Rings. But I mean,
Billy Boyd, yeah.
But that's probably the biggest name we've had. But I know that I was considering going to a Comic-Con last year, which obviously never happened.
Yeah, the world the world was kind of closed.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Comic-Con ended up happening, but there was no one was going to meet them because all the panels were virtual anyway. So they were pretty much doing their interviews. I was considering going to it last year when Tom Welling and Michael Rosenberg were both going to be there. But yeah, I just haven't had a chance to meet them.
So you were going to go, but in the words of Shakespeare, it was not to be. Well, Malcolm, in your neck of the woods of New Zealand, past the Shire, past Middle-earth, all that jazz, because a lot of stuff has happened in Middle-earth in the last 20 years. 20th anniversary is coming up in December, right, Malcolm? That's right. Hint, hint, hint. Want. Celebrate. So it's on your bucket list of getting out of the Shire. I'm going on an adventure. Don't worry, Malcolm. It'll come for you, I promise. So, Jerome, you've been around the earth probably 100 million times. You've been in small towns 50 times than I want to count. But I'm just curious. Have you met any of the Smallville cast? And if so, who, where, when, and why?
I haven't met the majors, but I did meet Helen Slater.
Oh.
Okay, simply because, she's Helen Slater.
Well, she's Helen Slater, and she's quite beautiful, even at her age. So how was meeting Helen Slater? How did that go?
Fabulous. Over? She was incredibly nice.
Oh.
I met Margot Kidder.
You met Margot.
And she was nice also. Very sweet
woman's
lady.
Heart.
And I got to meet James Marston.
James Marsters, you mean?
Yeah, I got to meet Brainiac.
It's Marsters.
At which point, he commented on the beauty of my daughter when she was just a baby at the time. He commented how beautiful she was, melted my heart right then and there. So, yeah, no, everybody's getting tears.
Cry.
But anyway. Those are the three I've met.
That is goodness gracious.
I didn't even think of him as a cast member. I met
him.
He
was Brainiac.
Well, he was Brainiac for about for a good 20 minutes. Phoenix, do you not know who James Marsters is?
I do.
But you think of him as Buffy.
Yeah, Buffy.
That's right.
One character known as Spike, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's been on other of my favorite shows, which is Torchwood. He was.
Yeah, that's where I was meeting him, and and then someone said, he was Brainiac. I said, wow,
Yeah, James Marsters has done more than just one or two roles. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I love
But did you meet him, Phoenix? Is that what you were going for?
Yeah, I've met him. So
Is he a nice guy?
yeah.
He's nice.
He loves
was
the
doing-
fans.
I think he loves his fans a little too much. My God.
I was there when he was telling the Torchwood story about kissing on the set of.
Who was he
like,
kissing?
yeah.
Can you describe this to the audience?
Yeah, there's a scene where he plays John Hart on
yeah.
Torchwood. Yeah, he comes in and oh my gosh, he's
Center of attention.
Yeah, he's playing John Hart, and which is Jack Harkness's previous lover or something.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have this great big fight scene, and then it ends up with them, like kissing and like attacking each other, in a most romantic way. And then the team comes in. So I mean, yeah, he told the story because John Barrowman, who plays
John
Jack
Barrowman,
Harkness,
played Malcolm Merlin. Yeah.
Yes.
A really nasty SOB, which, by the way, that's another show for another time because it's not the current property that we are discussing.
Yeah. No, but yeah, he told us a story about how he was kind of humiliated during that scene because
that's sad.
they did well. It wasn't a negative humiliation. It was,
but it was
sort
difficult for him.
Yeah. John
Let's put it that
Barrowman was
way.
very, very aggressive, I guess, when he kisses.
Oh boy! Well, there's no nervousness on set. So.
Yeah. So
fair enough. That's a lovely way to transition. Anyway, so Kelly, I'm curious, and I think you have. I'm not sure, maybe just a little.
Maybe.
But Kelly, you've met some Smallville alumni. I want to bring this up here for just a moment, if you don't mind. So you've met Green Arrow, aka Oliver
Hartley.
Queen. Tell us, what was your interaction with Justin Hartley like?
So first of all, I'm gonna say Justin Hartley is my TV boyfriend, and my husband's okay with
it. You need a cold shower now?
Yes.
Oh God.
I love him. He's so nice. So this was only my second year cosplaying, and so I had made these costumes. And first costumes I ever made. And we walk into the room, and Justin Hartley looks up from the autograph he just signed, looks at us, and goes, "Oh, that's awesome!" And then hands his wife his phone and is like, "Take a picture of them, honey."
Oh,
that's dope.
That's
great.
The best. It was just, oh my gosh.
When a celebrity wants a picture with you,
You've done it
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Basically, it's your moment where you've noticed that you've arrived.
Yeah.
For
So
real.
Justin Hartley is a sweetheart. What about this gentleman here? Phil Morris, who played Martian Manhunter,
Phil
aka
Morris.
John Jones.
He also
Smallville.
complimented our costumes. He was very happy to talk to people, very friendly and personable. Just I met them both on the same day. They were very
What
nice.
convention or event was this held at?
Superman celebration.
Oh, it's on my bucket list.
I'm telling you, you need to go.
You're
That's
turned
out in
away from
Illinois,
us.
isn't it?
You're turned away
Metropolis,
from us.
Illinois.
What's
Yes,
the actual
sir.
costume?
Oh, Black Canary.
Black Canary. Okay.
So that's
You
Black
couldn't
Canary
tell
and
by
that's Green Arrow.
No,
You
there's
know,
a lot of
yeah.
heroes that wear black.
Yeah. That's why I had to make sure that I didn't get it wrong.
I also was not wearing a black leather jacket because it's in Southern Illinois in June, and
It's
it is
150
warm.
degrees.
basically, yes.
Yeah, a little warm.
So hot.
But Phil Morris was a nice guy.
So nice.
You know, before Phil Morris was on that, I remember him best as the best TV lawyer in history on Seinfeld as Jackie Childs. Anyone remember
Childs.
Jackie, the lawyer to Kramer? Because I'll be honest with you, that's one of the funniest characters ever.
He was so good.
And Phil Morris can go to play in a fast-talking lawyer to a Martian Manhunter. Who'd have thunk?
So good.
Phil Morris, bless your heart, good sir. Love you as Jackie Childs. If I ever see you at a convention, I'm going to have you sign one of my DVD sets of Seinfeld, respectively. But Phil Morris is great as Martian Manhunter, I'm not going to lie. He's got that deep voice, too. He just knows how to act. You know, he's got right in the camera.
Phil Morris also voiced Vandal Savage in the Justice League TV series.
Jeez. Malcolm with the jump shot. Oh, my gosh.
Nice.
Good one, Malcolm.
Also, I just found out James Marsters actually voiced Lex Luthor in Superman Doomsday, that movie.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, the 2003, is it 2003 or 2006 version, if I remember correctly? Interesting.
I missed out on meeting Aaron though.
Oh, you mean Aaron Ashmore?
Yeah, I was working security at the convention.
He's a nice
I didn't
kid.
get a chance to get in there to meet him.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry
would
you
love
missed
to
out on
meet
that.
him.
But Kelly, you brought something with you, and once again, it seems like Kelly meets all the MVPs of the DC universe, which makes me more jello. But you got together with your super friends, and you did something like this.
Yes.
No,
So everyone's
I
dressed
love
up.
the Dr. Fate. That's great.
Look
Isn't
at
he
this
amazing?
outfit. By the way, who's dressed as Supergirl? Do you know who she is?
That is Caitlin Connors. I think she's under West Virginia Wonder Woman on Instagram.
# always support cosplayers.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So you have that. You have this. Look at this shot. Like, this is pure Smallville goodness right here.
And all these
love
photos that you're sharing now, I should say, are taken by Mark Schaefer, one of my favorite photographers to work with. And these
great
all were
shots.
taken in Metropolis. So I did put on the jacket for these, even though it was 150
It's 150 degrees.
Yeah. Yep.
Boy, that Dr. Fate looks ridiculously good looking.
It really is super dope.
That's a really good Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
And the Clark Kent one just jumps right off the page. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. The Legion of Superheroes is gathered together. Look at that.
Yeah. You can kind of see me behind the green arrow. I am Tess Mercer.
Which one are you? Right here? Or...
In between Green Arrow and Aquaman.
Oh, I see you.
Okay.
There you are.
It's like purple that she's wearing.
It's a purplish
Yeah.
outfit.
I didn't think I needed to be in the front for this picture because there were so many amazing cosplayers.
I mean, look at all these people here. Look at this.
Yes.
Supergirl, Zatanna. I believe that's Lois, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. It's Lois in the very front.
Yeah, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
That's Is it Cosmic Boy? Yeah, Cosmic Boy.
Yes.
Actually, it makes me wonder something. Did they actually ever refer to Kara as Supergirl in Smallville, or did they just call her Kara?
They
So
just call her Kara.
I don't think they ever mentioned.
I think they just called her Kara, but there was an episode in season 9 or 8 called Supergirl.
Was there?
Yeah.
Of Smallville. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was. Legitimately, Kelly. This is true. You can Google it in the backstage area if you want. I'll wait.
I think what I think what the show is trying to do is trying to hint that
They were hinting at her
not
becoming
themselves.
Supergirl.
Yeah.
They couldn't actually say it, but they can mention, like, I think at the end of that episode, Laura Vandervoort dresses up in the Linda Lake or her alter ego, and she puts on the glasses and the brown hair, and she's like, "On Earth, I'm Lee, Linda Lee."
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doomsday's Crypt.
Hey, there's the comments. Amazing cosplay. What can I say? Kelly's an all-star.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Jeez. She puts all of us to shame. I thought wearing this was enough.
Hey, you look great.
Thank you. I try. I mean, I know I'm wearing a hat. I know Clark never wears a hat, but the reason I'm doing it is because these headphones are not I'm trying to make myself feel comfortable in a studio, Clark.
I figured you just had some really bad bedhead. That's why you.
Well,
wear the hat,
not only
right?
that, but I have a lot of gray hairs that I don't want the young audience watching this
excuse
at
me.
home to
Excuse
discover.
me.
Yeah, I know. You got the salt and pepper thing going there, Jerome. We still love you, pal. It's okay. Age is just a number, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that. Remember that. It's just a number.
Yeah.
So, for me personally, if I'm remembering this correctly, I posted this when the anniversary came up. These are some of the members I've met. There's my cosplay in the top corner. I've met John Glover, who played Lionel. I had my, Clark Kent, pseudo costume when he and I met. That was fun. He's a funny dude. Below that is James Marsters, a.k.a. Brainiac, one of the nicest, most kindest gentlemen you're ever going to meet in your life. I told him, I said, James, I really like what you did on Smallville as Brainiac. He says, well, thank you. You know how I got the role? I'm like, no. How did you get the role, James? And he tells me how he got it, how much he admired the creators of the show, Alfred and Miles, and how he wanted to be a part of it in any way, shape, or form. And when they offered him the role, he said, oh, this is great. I would love to play a villain. Yes. And he jumped at it. And boy, did he run away with Brainiac or what? Because he was so ridiculously good looking and so good as that character. See what I did there, Zadius? So, and then
what
you see in this other...
What bugs me most about him is how good looking he looks and young. And then you find out he's a grandfather.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, for real.
Yeah.
Kelly, I don't know about you,
hate
Kelly.
that
That's
already.
weird. That's strange.
Didn't he have a kid really young though? I remember him telling a story about that.
He did, but that's beside the point.
That's beside the point. But on the other picture that you see before you, I met Jimmy / I met Olsen, I met Aaron Ashmore, I met Erica Durant, and Laura Vandervoort, and we're all in together the same picture. Isn't that lovely?
So jealous.
So you're with Supergirl and Lois and Jimmy, and I'm thinking, okay, my life has been made. Is there anything more, please? So, yeah, I think when I'm when I'm between Erica and Laura, yeah, my life's been made, Zadius. I'm just saying. So there's my little tidbit of stories for you as far as coming to meeting some of the Smallville veterans, and I look forward to meeting more as we go into the future. Tom Welling, Michael Rosenbaum, you're on my list. Trust me. Trust me. So with that being said, we've shared so much moments, so many passions, so much energy, so many great moments, so many wonderful things. Before we go around the horn, we give our final thoughts. We give AK something known as plugs. Because Lord knows we got a million irons in the fire. That is.
Can't imagine which one I would know.
I know I can't imagine how many projects you're working on outside of this studio. But I want to leave before we go around the horn and share our final thoughts. I want to leave you, the viewer at home, or if you're listening in the background, whichever you want to go about it. Take a look at this for just one moment. Just listen.
Kids just don't fall out of the sky. What are you trying to tell me, Dad? I'm from another planet.
So what are you, man or Superman?
We have a destiny together. We're on different sides.
Ooh, man. Yeah, John Williams' score, it's going to get you every time. So to go around the horn here one last time, Zadius, any final thoughts on the 20th anniversary of Smallville?
Final thoughts. First and foremost, I'm just glad that this show existed, period. Even though it was a show about a guy with superpowers, he was still a teenager. I was a teenager who was awkward with talking with girls, who had a crush. So I could easily see myself in him minus his superpowers. And as Clark grew, I pride myself that I was able to grow also. And it just took a character that I liked as Superman and made him into a character I love, just as Clark Kent. And I like Superman now, but I love Clark Kent more. And everybody from the show I'm a fan of, and even from they started on Smallville and they've just moved out into the Arrowverse. Smallville flew so the Arrowverse could be born. So I'm just grateful for Smallville, grateful for the cast. I just love the show. It's seriously my all-time #1 favorite show.
That is a truly great sentiment, and I could not agree. I could not agree more. Thank you for sharing that with us, Zadius. Phoenix, final thoughts on the 20th anniversary of Smallville.
I just really love that show. I actually became a journalist professionally later on. So, I remember I was thinking of Smallville as I started working, and I was like, I'm working for the basic Daily Planet, So, I mean, yeah, I probably inspired a little bit of my daily life. So, yeah, it was a great show.
Absolutely, absolutely. To the young man who just got up at the crack of dawn in the Shire, aka a different property that we will not talk about right now on this show. Malcolm, any final thoughts and anything you'd like to say to the millions of people out there for the 20th anniversary of Smallville?
Yeah, I mean, for me, when it comes to Smallville, I'm just surprised at how much, they really got into Superman mythos and to fit into all the episodes. I felt like everything possible of Superman they managed to do in the series. And it's just one of those shows that I will definitely plan on going back and watching again. Eventually, it's along with a lot of other shows. There's a lot of shows I love, but this is just one of them. And for me, you can find me over on Take 3 Productions, where I host Rankum every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern.
We were going to go around the horn first and then do plugs, Malcolm. You're kind of jumping ahead there.
Uh-oh.
He's going to take his moment.
I'm in the future anyway, so...
Yeah.
That's right. He is
whatever, dude.
Right. He did it.
You know what? We'll go around the horn one more time, but follow Malcolm and everything he's doing at Take 3 Productions. Let me just leave it at that for you, Malcolm. See what I did there? I'm trying to be your best salesman. But thank you for chiming in, Malcolm. That's what I'm gonna say. Oh, geez, Malcolm, why did you have to ruin the flow of the show? Anyway,
that was beautiful, Malcolm.
Any final thoughts and anything else for the 20th anniversary of Smallville? The floor is yours.
Well, to be honest, I'm surprised. 20 years. I mean, that's done pretty good. And here we are still talking about this show later, 20 years on. And that tells you its staying power. I, like many fans back in that when it started, had our serious doubts about it because we all remember Superboy from the 1990s and the disaster that was. And we were hoping that the show would, cover that time frame between Superboy in Smallville and Superman in Metropolis. And with a few hiccups that we've discussed, I think they did a pretty good job at it. There were some changes I would have done differently, but overall, I can't complain. I think they did a really good job. I'll be honest, I don't want to see anymore. I think that it's fine where it's at. We don't need an animated series. We don't need anything more. It's a pretty good show. They've got good end caps on it, and I think this show holds up pretty well on its own. Uh-oh, did we lose Ryan?
No, I'm still here. Right on, man. Right on. And also, I want to go to you next here, Kelly.
All
Final. I know. No pressure, Kelly. No pressure. But the question on the table: any final thoughts and anything else for the Smallville 20th anniversary celebration?
I think this show really shaped the future of superhero TV shows because there were not superhero TV shows at the time that it aired. So it's really special. And also, we didn't really touch on it, but the nature of fandom, like the Smallville fandom was huge. And the way the actors interacted with the fandom was very different from previous fandoms. So the show is just very special and very influential. And I think it's really cool that we get to celebrate the 20th anniversary and that the show still has a lasting impact on media. And so I have enjoyed reminiscing. So thank you.
Lovely as always. Thank you for sharing that with us. So for me, my final thoughts are simply this. And this may be different for you watching this at home, and that's okay. Everyone's journey watching this series, becoming a part of the DC universe in any way, shape, or form is different for everybody. So for me, watching Smallville got me through a very dark and hard period for me in my life. I lost my dad 8 weeks before I started watching the show, and that was the episode that when Clark lost his dad. So I know what it's like. The show had a huge impact on me in terms of don't let these dark times keep you down. Never let anyone tell you that being different is wrong because it's not. Be happy with who you are, no matter if you're, and by the way, being different is not bad because everyone on this earth is different. Everyone has a unique gift that they can add to this world, and we can make the world a better place. And on Superman's world known as Krypton, the symbol, the S symbol, the symbol of the House of L means hope. So for that, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for watching this. I want to thank every single member of the cast and crew for bringing us one of the most popular and influential television series of all time. It was my entry into more corners of the DC universe, as I'm sure it may have been for our panelists. It may have been for you. So whether you've seen the show 100 times or if you're just discovering it most recently, with it being the 20th anniversary, the Blu-ray set is out. Watch this show, check it out, watch it with your family. I think you're going to get something from it. There's a lot to learn from this show. There's a lot to take away from it. The actors, the writers, the producers, and directors work so hard to give us this content week in and week out, year in, year out, whatever it may have been. My hat is off to them, literally, if not figuratively. Our hats are off to them figuratively and literally. So thank you all for that. Thank you for being a part of this. And if you have any memories, any moments you would like to share about Smallville, something that means something to you, let us know in the comments. Leave it in the chat after the fact. We would love to hear from you. Don't forget to share this video with all 600 of your friends in your small town of Smallville, Kansas, because they're going to like the way they look after watching this video. I guarantee it. So goodness gracious. So thank you for being with us. Before we leave Smallville and go to the big city of Metropolis, where even more adventures are waiting for us around each and every corner, Phoenix, where can the people of the interwebs find you online and everything that you have coming up? Go ahead.
You can reach me at distancenerding.com. We are a podcast. You can find us anywhere that you can get a podcast. And we also do a live Lego session where we have really amazing guests every week. We at 6 p.m. on Pacific Standard Time. We on Facebook and Twitch and pretty much every platform that you can possibly find us. So yeah, check us out. distancenerding.com.
Fantastic. Zadius, Z-Man. Where can the good people of the interwebs find you online and everything you have coming up, buddy? What do you got?
Oh, well, if you want to look for me, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Zadius Smith. That's Z-A-2-Ds E-U-S Smith. And I also do movie and TV reviews now on the former Stardust app. That's gone, but I try to do it now on TikTok at The Real Zaz. So just look for me there. Thank
you very much for being with us, Z-Man. The coolest kid in school. If you and I were at Smallville High together, I think you and I would be very good friends. If I do say so myself. By the way, go Crows! Jerome, where can the good people of the interwebs find you online and everything you have coming down the pipe?
Well, you can find me at Saturday Morning Cartoons every Saturday at 9 o'clock here on Facebook through the HWWS family and the MBL Entertainment Group. And every other Friday night, you can catch me also on Classic Television SmackDown. I'm on Facebook as Jerome Connor. I'm on Instagram as Hood1707. I'm on Twitter at ConnorHood1707. And somewhere in the vast internet, there is a MySpace page of mine somewhere out there. So you can find me there if you can find it. So that's where you can find me.
Thank you very much, kind sir, for being with us. Malcolm, you may have mentioned a moment ago you jumped the gun like you tend to do on a lot of different programs. Maybe I shouldn't have you on anymore. But still, with that being said, Malcolm, where can the viewer find you online and everything you have coming down the line?
I mean, you can find me on TV Productions. Do rank them every Saturday. Tonight, really. At 8 p.m. Eastern, we're talking about horror movies of the 2010s. I also do late night take 3 on Sundays. Tomorrow we're starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, and we're talking about Boy Meets World. And you can find me hosting trivia matches over on Full Metal Trivia. Ryan's played in some of them. Also have them back.
Yeah, just a few. Just a few. We may have done a Full Metal random match about Seinfeld quotes that you may want to check out on that YouTube channel. Just saying. Free plugs for you, Malcolm. I know my check's in the mail on your way out. But anywho, the one, the only, Kelly, who's got so many super stories about so many small towns and so many big conventions. Kelly, where can the good people of the interwebs find you online and everything that you have coming up soon?
Oh, gosh. Okay, so I've made it easy. I finally have a link tree.
Woohoo! Linktree is your best friend.
Linktree.com/PhoenixesCosplay. That's where you can find everything. I have cosplay pages. I do video podcasts with Back of the Cereal Box. So I do comic reviews. I do Cosplay Cafe, which is a cosplay-based show. I have a book out that is a superhero novel. And then my cosplay partner also makes Pokeballs. So that's on our link because our link tree is shared. Yeah, I have a lot. So I finally got my stuff together and have that link tree. It's so much easier.
Goodness gracious. Man, is there anything you haven't done in this universe yet? Gee whiz. But anywho, thank you for being with us, Kelly. We do appreciate it. My name is Ryan of Nerd Culture. You can find us and everything we're doing here on all forms of social media simply at It's Nerd Culture. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. But in the meantime, to all of you, to our panelists, to you, the viewer watching this, stay healthy, stay strong, stay safe, and watch Smallville. And one more thing, somebody save me. That's what you need to do. Seriously. But other than that, take care. Support each other, support yourself, because it takes teamwork to make the dream work. And by the way, don't forget to check out our good friends over at HWS Web TV. Great gamut of shows led by a great roster full of people, because sharing is caring. And by the way, one more thing, rising tide raises all ships. Take care, everyone.
I'm GW Pomacher.
I'm Dina Marie.
I'm Sage Ia.
I'm Thomas Carter Rochester.
Hey, I'm David Thompson.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Mia.
Hi, I'm Mark.
Hey there, this is Dave Adams.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Rose.
Jerome Conner here.
Hey guys, it's Josh Bauer.
It's Willow Schuyler.
I'm Cosplay Michael.
I'm Brava.
It's your boy Country.
I'm Ryan Permison.
And I'd like to ask you guys,
please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Please, please, please
subscribe.
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 Please subscribe to HWWS
Web TV.
Great bunch of people.
And don't forget to smash the bell.
Ring that bell.
Smash that bell.
Hit that bell.
Hit the bell to be notified.
Hit the bell to get notified of new shows
and videos.
You're going to want to do that, so do that soon.
So we can cross that 20,000 mark.
And get us to 100,000 subscribers.
To 1 million, and 10 million, and 100 million.
On HWWS.
Web TV.
You'll really like it. I guarantee it.
Thank you.